People in Las Vegas are pausing to remember the unforgettable. A few minutes ago, many of the lights on the Vegas Strip were turned off to honor the victims of the worst mass shooting in modern American history. 58 people attending a country music concert were killed 1 year ago after a gunman opened fire from his hotel room window. The names of each of the 58 victims were also read aloud during the ceremony. Another 500 people were injured during that tragic shooting. And joining us to talk more about that tragic night is Lisa Fine. She survived the shooting and is president of Route 91 Strong, a group which has organized a benefit concert for fellow survivors tonight in Los Angeles. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
How are you and the other survivors coping a year after this tragedy?
You know, it's been a really long year, and tonight was very important for all of us because we needed a new memory to commemorate what was last year, the night that we were supposed to die. And we all definitely thought that we were going to die.
And now, of course, did you expect to get to this point a year later and see that very little has changed, certainly in terms of gun control laws?
You know, the problem with that there's no change is that there's nothing I can do about that. But what we can do is we came together as survivors and we founded Route 91 Strong nonprofit, because what we can do is raise a lot of money for the survivors that are struggling so bad. We have survivors that are applicants that are on suicide watch, have attempted suicide, and I'm sad to say that have committed suicide. So our nonprofit are Survivors Helping Survivors, because we want to help meet their immediate needs. They are losing their jobs, their homes. They're just in the worst state you can't even imagine. And what we need to do is come together and help them, because it's a mass shooting society that we live in now. And that's why we need to do what we're doing and unite. We need to be vigilant. We can't be complacent. We need to make a difference together.
And this support you're talking about clearly is to give them therapy, to help them talk through the situation they went through as survivors. What sort of help were they getting before you started this group and raised this money to help these survivors?
You know, there were a lot of funds that initially started, and what happened were that most of the survivors that we are helping had no means of support at all. And we came together because of that. We knew that they needed us. They were hopeless. And you know what? Going through PTSD is the scariest thing. You can't even imagine. It's like ADHD times 10. People are, you know, they're desperate. It's their darkest hours. And for them not to have any help, that's why we came together, and we will move mountains for them. I was in the front row, in the VIP section, and bullets were 6 inches from my head and my co-founder's head. He was 11 seats away from me that night. And you know what? Listening to people being murdered, and I mean, at a concert, this is insanity. Automatic weapons shooting down on us, and we were supposed to all die that night, and that was the intention. And you know what? A lot of us lived. And so instead of, you know, this evil monster and bringing dark into our lives, what we're going to do is take light and love, and what we're going to bring for Route 91 Strong nonprofit, for all the survivors that need our help from gun violence. We're going to bring support and hope and strength and change and love.
Lisa, it is just simply horrifying to think what you and the other survivors went through on that night. And a year later, we're no closer to knowing why the gunman did this. Would knowing his motive make any difference at all in the healing process or going forward, or does it make no difference at all?
You know what? I always had an idea that we may never know what or why. And I had to reconcile that personally for me. And I have to let that go, because I have to do something with my life. I get a second chance. And so do our co-founders, who are also survivors. We get a second chance to make a big difference in the world. With all the dark and all the bad things that are happening, We just want to just love everybody, unite together, and just make a difference. We can do this. And thank you for having us on here to share our story. It means everything to us. There are survivors that came to our event tonight. There were 50 survivors, and we all had a moment of silence, 58 seconds of silence for each one of those precious lives that were taken.
You can do this, and you will do this. Lisa Fine, thank you so much for talking with us and all of your brave efforts. You and all of the other survivors, we do wish you the very best. Thank you so much.